What if I told you that your mind was never really yours? That from the moment you opened your eyes to this world, the blueprint of your thoughts was hijacked, stitched together by voices that were never yours to begin with. They didn't teach you how to think. They taught you how to obey, how to run, how to conform. They trained you to chase validation like a starving dog chasing scraps, told you who to be, what to wear, how to act, what to fear, and worst of all, what not to question. They gave you noise, but never gave you clarity. They told you how to survive, but never how to own your inner world. And now look at you, waking up every morning with your soul half buried under a mountain of invisible pressure. You feel like you're sprinting through a race you never chose, trying to win a prize you don't even want. Your eyes are open, but your mind is trapped behind 1,000 expectations, comparisons, regrets. You scroll, you smile, you nod, you perform, but inside, you're screaming. And the most brutal part, you can't tell if it's the world breaking you or your own thoughts. This isn't because you're soft. It's not because you're lost. It's because no one ever handed you the manual to your own mind. No one ever told you that your thoughts could lie, that your emotions could betray you. That clarity is not given, it's built. You've been forged by chaos, conditioned by trauma, drowned in the noise of everyone else's opinion. And somewhere along the way, you forgot one of the most ancient, most dangerous truths. A man who learns how to control his mind controls everything. This video isn't for entertainment. This is war. A war against the impulsive, reactive, emotional version of you that's been running your life on autopilot. This is the moment you stop being a puppet of your emotions and become the master of your perception. Because from this point forward, we don't chase peace, we command it. We don't react, we respond. We don't just survive, we stand tall in the fire. Epictetus once said, "It's not things that disturb us, but our judgment about those things." That means the pain that's been bleeding through your chest, the guilt, the fear, the overthinking, the anxiety. Most of it was never real. It was just the story you wrapped around the moment. The interpretation you fed your mind until it became your reality. But guess what? If your pain was built, it can be broken. And if your thoughts created your cage, they can also build your freedom. So what do we do now? We go deep, past the fake smiles, past the self-help cliches, past the surface-level motivation that wears off in 2 hours. I'm taking you into the battlefield of your mind, and I'm not bringing a flashlight. I'm bringing a sword. Because you deserve to cut through the noise and meet the real you, the one who was buried beneath years of fear, distraction, and lies. This video is for the night you couldn't breathe because your thoughts were choking you. It's for the day you laughed in public but shattered behind closed doors. It's for the version of you that people don't see. The one that's tired of pretending, tired of running, tired of being tired. You're not broken. You're just powerful beyond belief, but you've been told to be silent. Not anymore. By the end of this video, I'm going to give you 5 raw, mind-altering, soul-crushing truths that will retrain your mind like a weapon. This isn't about thinking positive. It's about thinking correctly, through discipline, through control, through detachment, through the brutal brilliance of Stoic philosophy that doesn't whisper, it shouts through the silence and rewrites your reality. Every second of this video is laced with blood and truth. I built it for the souls that are ready to snap the leash and walk free. If there's a voice inside you that's been quietly screaming, "I know there's more to me than this," then this is your time. You were born with a sword in your mind. You just forgot how to wield it. I'm here to hand it back. Don't skip, don't blink, don't pretend. Let this video hit you like a hammer. Let it tear you open and rebuild you piece by piece. Like it, subscribe, let your presence be known, and in the comments, drop the only words that matter now. I reclaim my mind. I choose clarity. Now let's get into it. Number 1. You must slow down to take control. You're not broken, you're not weak, you're just overwhelmed. Your mind, once sharp like a blade, has been dulled by noise, numbed by endless pings, and strangled by the chaos you keep calling life. Every second, something demands your reaction, a message, a headline, a problem, an insult. And without thinking, you jump, you chase, you respond like a puppet with 100 invisible strings pulling you in directions you never chose. That's not control. That's slavery. Your nervous system is in a permanent state of war, but there's no enemy outside. It's the war inside your own mind. You've been taught to move fast, act now, fix everything. But real power, unshakable, thunder in the soul power, doesn't come from speed. It comes from stillness. You don't regain control by sprinting. You regain it by pausing, by planting your feet into the ground like ancient stone and refusing to move until the storm inside you breaks. Your emotions are not the enemy, but they are wild animals. And wild animals are only tamed in silence. You don't command your thoughts when you're rushing to escape them. You command them when you slow down long enough to stare them in the face. Most people live like a shaken snow globe, every second of their day swirling in chaos, and they wonder why they can't see clearly. But when you stop shaking, when you stop scrambling to fix every feeling and solve every problem the second it arises, the flakes begin to settle, the fog clears, and there, in the stillness, you see what was always there, the truth, the root, the real cause behind your pain. That's when the madness starts making sense. That's when your reactions die and your awareness awakens. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment." That's not just philosophy. That's a war cry. That's a reminder that no matter how brutal life gets, you are never at the mercy of the moment. But if you're always rushing, always panicking, scrolling, defending, chasing, you'll miss it. You'll miss the moment your freedom knocks because your mind is too loud to hear it. And in that noise, you'll live like a prisoner in your own skull. Slow down. Let the world race past you. When anger grips your chest, pause like a mountain unmoved by the wind. When fear tightens your lungs, breathe like your soul depends on it. When someone tries to provoke you, detach like your peace is sacred. Because it is. The moment you pause before you explode, you reclaim your throne. The second you choose silence over reaction, you win. That's the moment you stop being controlled and start becoming dangerous. In that quiet space between the trigger and your response, a new you is born. Not soft, not passive, but precise. Deadly with your focus. Calm like a god. That's where your real edge lives. In the silence, the world is too afraid to enter. You don't just find your power there, you become it. If you're still breathing right now, I want you to burn this into the comments like a signature written in fire. My power begins in silence. Number 2. Question every thought that enters your mind. Just because a thought enters your head doesn't mean it deserves your belief. Just because it whispers in your voice doesn't mean it's your truth. The mind is not a sanctuary by default. It's a war zone. And unless you sharpen your awareness like a blade, you will bleed from wounds you never see coming. You'll wake up feeling unworthy, and instead of questioning it, you'll carry that shame like it's gospel. You'll feel anger rise, and instead of examining it, you'll call it justice and burn everything in your path. You'll feel fear crawl up your spine, and instead of confronting it, you'll hand it the keys to your life and let it drive. That's not living. That's surrendering to a voice that might not even be yours. Your mind has been poisoned by old wounds, by careless words, by a culture that profits off your insecurity. And the worst part, you never checked the source. You never stopped to ask, where did this thought come from? Who planted this idea in me? And is it even mine to carry? That's the tragedy of most people's lives. They're held hostage by echoes, echoes of criticism, echoes of fear, echoes of doubt passed down like a disease. Seneca wasn't lying when he said, "We suffer more in imagination than in reality. We bleed over scenarios that haven't happened. We mourn futures that never existed. We become prisoners to thoughts that don't even belong to us." You've built cages in your mind with your own hands, and then you locked yourself inside without even realizing it. Every time you believed a lie without challenging it, you added another bar to the prison. I'm not good enough. Bar. They'll leave me. Bar. I always mess up. Bar. And now you wonder why everything feels heavy, why freedom feels foreign. It's because you've let intruders live rent-free in your head, and they're tearing the place apart from the inside. You must become the gatekeeper. Every thought that knocks, interrogate it like it's a threat. Who sent you? What's your purpose? What are you trying to make me feel, and why? And if it doesn't bring truth, strength, or peace, throw it out. Burn it. Bury it. Do not let it build a home inside your mind, because the longer it stays, the deeper it digs, and what starts as a whisper becomes your identity. If you don't challenge your thoughts, they'll shape your beliefs. And if your beliefs are infected, your future will be too. One lie believed becomes 100 bad decisions. One unchallenged fear becomes a lifetime of hiding. One false assumption becomes your destiny. That's the cost of mental laziness. That's what happens when you let your mind run wild without a commander. And make no mistake, you are the commander, not the observer, not the victim. You are the one who decides which thoughts stay and which ones get thrown into the fire. This isn't about forcing yourself to think positive. That's surface-level nonsense. This is about going to war with every lie that ever told you you were small or broken or unworthy. This is about facing the darkness in your mind with a torch and a sword, not a smile. The strongest minds are not quiet. They are combative, ruthless with falsehood, surgical with precision. They don't worship every thought, they interrogate them. They cross-examine every fear, every doubt, every mental parasite, until truth is all that remains. You were never built to serve your thoughts. You were built to lead them, shape them, mold them into tools instead of traps. You take back your life not by pretending everything's okay, but by declaring war on the lies that told you you're not. Your liberation begins with one brutal, beautiful truth. Not every thought is yours. Not every thought deserves to live. Now drop this in the comments if your mind is waking up from the spell. I don't believe everything I think. Number 3. Emotional discipline is mental freedom. We've been conditioned to move like puppets, strings tied not to truth or reason, but to the violent swings of emotion. We chase every thrill like starving wolves and collapse under every heartbreak like glass dropped from a rooftop. If something excites us, we lose ourselves. If something hurts us, we spiral. If someone insults us, we ignite like a match in gasoline. This is not power. This is not strength. This is mental slavery dressed up as passion. You are not in control. You are being controlled. They taught you to listen to your heart, but they forgot to mention that the heart can lie. It lies when it aches for someone who destroyed you. It lies when it fears something that could set you free. It lies when it tells you to rage, to run, to react. Emotions are not demons, but they are dangerous when left unexamined. Just because you feel something does not make it real. That's the trap. That's the prison. That's how people get played by their own minds. The Stoics didn't live like victims of their moods. They saw emotions as signals, not orders. They didn't suppress them. They studied them like a surgeon studies a disease. Epictetus once said, "Any person capable of angering you becomes your master." Think about that. If one person's words can throw your entire world into chaos, what does that say about your grip on reality? You're not free. You're not stable. You're just a feather in the wind, tossed around by anyone who knows where to poke. Emotional discipline isn't about turning cold. It's not about being numb or heartless. It's about walking through fire without screaming. It's about standing in the storm and keeping your vision sharp. You feel it, but you don't fold. You bleed, but you don't break. You observe the rage boiling in your gut, the tears crawling up your throat, and you refuse to act until your logic speaks louder than your panic. That's control. That's power. That's what separates warriors from the weak. The world will throw insults, betrayal, heartbreak, failure. You will be lied to, abandoned, tested beyond what you think you can bear. But the one who breathes through it all, the one who doesn't react like a wounded animal, but responds like a composed force of nature, that's the one who becomes untouchable. You rise above the noise. You see people's games, and you no longer take the bait. Mastering your emotions is not detachment, it's liberation. It's walking through your past without flinching. It's hearing the same words that once shattered you and feeling nothing but clarity. It's being able to say, "I feel it, but it does not own me." And that, right there, is when the chains fall off. That's when you're no longer a prisoner to what happened, or who hurt you, or how bad it got. Train your mind to rule over your feelings, not crush them, not deny them. Rule them. Feel everything, run from nothing, but let your mind hold the reins. That's when you walk into rooms with a silence that screams. That's when people try to shake you and fail. That's when peace isn't something you chase. It's something you carry. Unbothered, unshaken, free. Number 4. Learn to sit with silence before you decide. We live in a world addicted to speed. Everyone wants to talk first, act fast, post quicker, and decide before the truth even walks into the room. People throw answers like grenades just to fill the silence. They react to everything: a text, a look, a thought, a feeling, as if pausing is some kind of weakness. But the truth is brutal. The loudest person in the room is often the most afraid. Afraid of silence, afraid of stillness, afraid of sitting alone with the storm inside. Most people don't think. They flinch. They don't decide. They panic. They move not because they understand, but because they can't handle the weight of waiting. But silence, that brutal, haunting silence, that's where your power lives. Not in the noise, not in the rush, but in the pause. That's where your demons get exposed and your truth starts whispering. But you'll never hear it if you're too busy trying to respond to every damn thing that moves. Marcus Aurelius once said, "If you are distressed by anything external, The pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. That moment he's talking about. It's silence. It's the breath between the trigger and the chaos. And only the man who knows how to sit inside that breath without running from it knows what real strength feels like. Before you send that venom-filled message, before you make that reckless choice, before you let anger hijack your soul, pause. Let it simmer. Let the madness burn without feeding it. Let the emotions scream while you just sit. And when the fire dies down, when the fog clears, when the noise fades, you'll see it. The right decision. The truth that was buried beneath your panic. That's not weakness. That's what 99% of the world never learns. The discipline to wait for the truth instead of reacting to the lie. Correct thinking isn't instant. It's sacred. It's born in the stillness where most people never go. You've got to guard your mind like a fortress. You don't let panic take over. You don't let pressure bark orders. Your mind is a throne, and only silence should have the key to it. Sometimes the most savage power you can unleash is nothing. No reply, no movement, no explanation. Just silence that makes people question everything. Because when you wait, when you hold, when you say nothing while the world expects you to break, that silence becomes a weapon. It shakes people, it haunts them, and more importantly, it protects you. The man who can sit in stillness while his emotions are screaming and his past is crawling up his spine, that man is no longer a slave to chaos. That man doesn't need to prove anything. He's calm not because life is easy, but because he's forged a mind that doesn't flinch. He becomes dangerous, composed, clear. Learn to sit with silence, not because you're lost, but because you've outgrown the noise. In that silence, your instincts sharpen, your emotions settle, your vision clears, and for the first time in your life, your next move isn't built on fear, it's built on power. And the man who moves from that place, he doesn't miss. Number 5. Align your thinking with who you want to become. Every thought is a vote, not just a whisper in your head, a strike of the hammer that shapes who you are becoming. And whether you realize it or not, you are casting that vote every second. Every time you entertain fear, you reinforce weakness. Every time you sit with self-pity, you chain yourself to failure. Every excuse you whisper in the dark is a prayer to the man you swore you'd never become. So ask yourself, if your thinking was a mirror, would you salute what you see, or would you spit in its face? Thinking correctly has nothing to do with empty optimism. This isn't some feel-good fairy tale. This is war, and your battlefield is in your head. Correct thinking means alignment, ruthless alignment. You don't get to dream of strength while bathing in weakness. You don't get to talk about peace while feeding your brain poison. You don't get to imagine greatness while letting your thoughts rot in mediocrity. You either think like the man you want to become, or you rot as the man you've always been. You say you want power, but your thoughts tremble at the first sign of discomfort. You say you want purpose, but your mind still chases cheap distractions like their treasure. You say you want self-respect, but your thoughts still beg for validation from people who don't even respect themselves. Wake up. You cannot build an empire with the blueprint of a slave. You cannot become a king with the mentality of a clown. You must burn the old script, burn the weakness, burn the excuses, burn the softness, and write a new code. The Stoics understood this long before us. Identity is not luck. Identity is discipline. It's forged through repetition, one thought at a time. Think like a coward, live like one. Think like a ruler, and the crown will come. Not because you wished for it, but because your mind became the throne. Your repeated thoughts turn into your code. That code becomes behavior. That behavior becomes destiny. And destiny never lies. You are not your past. Burn that lie to ash. You are not your failures, your pain, or the people who underestimated you. You are the architect of your thoughts. You are the man who decides what stays in your mind and what gets exiled forever. Every thought is either a weapon or a wound, and if you let the wrong ones linger, they will gut you in silence. So, what do you feed your mind with? Does it sharpen your vision or blur it? Does it harden your will or drain it? Does it build your future or bury it? Because the truth is brutal. You become what you allow. Nothing more, nothing less. You want to think correctly? Then stop letting your mind wander like a fool and start wielding it like a sword. Choose your thoughts like you're going to war, because you are. And in that war, softness dies. In that war, clarity reigns. In that war, the man you were becomes the ashes beneath the man you're building. Forge your thoughts like steel, aim them like arrows, fire them like thunder, and become the man your future is begging for. Right now, at this very moment, you stand at a crossroads, a brutal choice laid bare in front of you. You can keep surrendering to the same tired thoughts, the same destructive patterns, the same weak mind that's been running your life on autopilot. You can keep living trapped in yesterday's mistakes, caught in a loop of chaos and confusion. Or you can grab the reins. You can take savage control of your mind and rebuild yourself from the wreckage, brick by bloody brick, from the inside out. Thinking correctly isn't some soft ideal, a light-hearted wish for perfection. It's raw, it's ruthless, it's power forged in the fires of discipline. It demands you slow down when the world screams for speed. It forces you to drown out the noise that drowns your soul. It challenges you to master the raging storm inside, your emotions, and turn them into your fiercest allies. It demands you embrace silence, not as weakness, but as the weapon of kings. It's the call to become the architect of your own mind, the commander of your own fate. If this has shaken something deep inside you, if it's lit a fire you can't put out, don't keep that flame to yourself. Like this message. Comment with the affirmations that speak your truth. Share this with the warrior who's still fighting their own battle and needs this as armor. Subscribe and stay ready, because this is no end. This is the violent birth of a new path, a new mindset, a new life. We are not finished yet. This is only the beginning, the raw, unfiltered genesis of everything you're about to become. And trust me, the world won't know what hit it.